Christine.
Hey, I'm Martin.
We're co-mediators for this mediation. And we just want to briefly talk about some of the roles that we have, and then just kind of explain a little bit about the mediation process and our part in it.
Okay, as Christine said, our roles are the mediation people, and our job is to not fix the problem, but allow both parties to explain their situations as well as their viewpoints on the situation at hand. To start off, we'll have the introduction as far as them coming in, and we'll greet them and allow both of them to sit down at a table that we have arranged already and set up. Christine will elaborate more on the introduction part.
Okay, thanks, Martin.
Yes.
Since we're co-mediators, we've split up the responsibilities of the mediation process. I will begin the mediation process with an introduction to kind of explain to the disputants what they're going to be experiencing during the mediation, kind of briefly give them an overview of what mediation looks like, and explain just a few general guidelines about confidentiality and safety around the circle. And Martin will explain some of our other roles that we split up.
Thanks, Christine.
Mm-hmm.
The rules, we'll basically let them pick the rules, but we'll give them a couple of guidelines. But for the most part, we'll allow both people in the situation, the conflict at its hand. We'll let them bring up the rules and make a good deal of the rules, a good number of those rules. And then my next job will be, as you will see in the video, I will be a recorder, and I'll be taking notes just frequently from time to time, and being able to pick out some key points as far as while both people are talking about their issues.
And both of us will be responsible for guiding the conversation during the mediation. You'll see us both jump in from time to time with perhaps paraphrasing or questions to pose to the disputants. However, then Martin will also guide the transition from storytelling into issues.
Into issues, exactly. And I want you to notice also, we allow both parties to, I guess, not get out of control, but express their feelings truly. We don't interfere as much. So.
We don't want to tell them which emotions are valid and which emotions are invalid in this situation. We just want them to experience in the moment.
Thank you. So I hope you enjoy this mediation.
Yes. We are co-mediators. Woohoo! Hi, I'm Christine.
Hi, Christine.
I'm Christine. Hi. Okay, welcome to this space. We've set it up today for our mediation. And I'd just like to kind of outline for you, introduce what we're going to be doing today. Martin is my co-mediator. We're co-mediators, so we're going to be bouncing off of each other, just so you're aware. And in a mediation, we are going to guide the both of you through a process to kind of reach an end point to this. And we just kind of want to make sure that you guys are aware that this is a safe space. This is a space that is for both of you. We are going to remain impartial to the problem and listen to both sides of the story. And we really just want you guys to be aware of that beforehand. And that this is also a confidential space. So we ask that you don't take what happens in here outside of the room. I am going to give you both a piece of paper so that while the other person is talking, if something springs into your head, you can go ahead and jot it down on the paper for when you're the one who's talking. And now we're going to segue into Martin outlining the rules.
As Christine said, this is a safe place, so we need to start off with having some rules. So do you guys have any ideas, any rules that you may want to start off with?
Don't slap me.
Yes.
It's very good.
So keep hands to self.
How about no interrupting?
No interrupting.
Cool. No name calling.
Okay. Any others? again, in a safe place, we're going to allow both of you to have equal opportunity to talk. So that's like a give and roll right there. Do you have anything you think we should add?
Like, can we put listening down there?
Yes.
Listening skills.
It's cool. I think,
It's pretty solid list for now. We'll readdress it if we need to.
and if things get out of hand, we'll just call a timeout or a caucus, which is a timeout.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're going to transition now to our storytelling time, and from storytelling, then Martin will make a transition into making a list of issues, and then into a transition into a problem-solving time. But our storytelling time is where both of you get to tell your story. So what has happened? Just know that while the other person's telling their story, we have agreed for no interrupting. So if you do have a thought, write it down on paper. And you will eventually have time to talk. Does anyone want to start?
I'll start. So basically what happened is we were living together, and we lived together for a long time, but then I decided that I needed space, and so I wanted to move out. And before I moved out, we decided that we had to clean the apartment, and also like address the housewarming gifts that we'd gotten over the years and how to divide those up. And I really wanted to leave, and so I tried to get out of there really fast, but like I had liked some of the items that we had gotten, like our TV, which was really important to me. Anyway, and so the situation just kind of escalated, and then we worked together, and so I heard that she was talking about me to other like coworkers, and so I tried to confront her about it one day, and she started yelling at me, and things got kind of ugly. And so then our boss came in and said that we were both going to get fired if we didn't figure out a solution.
You have anything you want to add?
No.
Okay, Ella, do you want to tell your story?
Okay. Well, pretty much starts out the same way as Cindy described it. She decided to move out, and we decided to divide up our housewarming gifts with who cleaned the apartment, and then also to split the deposit. But Cindy wanted to get out of there so fast that I had to clean the entire apartment without her. But yet she still got half of the deposit. And so I didn't really feel much attachment to the housewarming gifts, but I was the one that cleaned the apartment. When she just left me out, kind of left me hanging. And I just felt kind of like let down and just kind of bitter that she just expected to get half of the deposit and the housewarming gifts when I did all the work, when she was the one moving out and leaving me. And so I was at work one day, and I was telling one of my coworkers how mad I was, or that she just kind of, got on my nerves, how she just kind of left me and made me clean the whole house. And then all of a sudden, one day, Cindy just comes up and starts yelling at me out of nowhere, just like, just making a huge scene, and we got in this huge fight. And then we just got in trouble, and our boss said that we'd both be fired. And I don't think Cindy started it, so I was really upset that the boss thought I should be fired as well when Cindy was the instigator of that.
Do you have any points you want to comment on that?
No.
Perhaps we'll talk about the whole process of leaving the apartment. Why did you want to leave, Cindy? And I'll also same question to you.
Because she annoys me.
Is there a why to that?
She's messy. So I shouldn't have to clean it up after her mess, her messy apartment. Yeah.
And that's the foundation of why you wanted to leave?
Yeah, she's messy and she's loud. And
My
she plays,
mess?
Yes.
My mess? I was not the one who leaves out all my dirty dishes and my laundry, okay?
She does that all the time.
No,
There's
it's not just me.
We have fruit flies because of her.
No, what? Oh my gosh.
give you time to express your feelings on the matter. Do you have anything else you want to?
She is the messy one, so I shouldn't have to clean up after her mess. And also, she started talking crap at work. So I didn't actually start the fight at work. She did.
Do you have anything you want to say to that, Ella?
Well, I feel like technically she's the one that came up to me and made the scene. Like, I did talk to my coworker about it, but I wasn't trying to make a scene or make drama out of it. I was just talking to what I thought was a friend, and I wasn't expecting that to like get blown out of proportion. So I feel like Cindy's the one that really made the scene out of it because she came and started like yelling at me in front of everybody. But
How long after the move out was the argument?
3 days.
Okay.
Okay, I think we can jump into some major issues that we can start talking about. We can write down. So we can start off with Cindy. You can maybe share 1 or 2 issues that you feel, or if there's more, just let me know. But
And these are like the issues are really what you want to be solved or what you want to get out of this situation.
and I'm sorry, I meant Ellie. I apologize. So do you have any issues that you want to talk about? I know you talked about how you felt that she let you down as far as not helping you clean. So I guess that would be, would that go into trust? Would you think that would go into trust? Or because she said she would do something and she did?
And I think the physical action of cleaning the apartment is definitely an issue for both parties.
So what do you want to say, the cleaning? Okay.
cleaning, and then I guess just how I felt kind of gypped out of the deposit when she got half and I cleaned the whole thing. When we had, regardless of what my habits were for cleanliness, we decided that whoever cleans the apartment gets the housewarming gifts, and half of the deposit.
Okay.
So I felt kind of still kind of bitter. I feel kind of taken advantage of that I cleaned the whole apartment by myself.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to add to that?
No, I don't think so.
What about the argument at work? Do you think that was an issue as far as your job was on the line?
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, because Cindy made it an issue at work.
Okay. So the work issue, the work argument?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anything else or good? Cindy,
Yeah.
do you have any issues that you want to talk about?
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, I'm just annoyed that she's messy and that I've had to put up with it for like the 2 years that we've been living together.
Okay.
And so I feel like since I've been putting up with that, I deserve those housewarming gifts.
Okay.
You know? And also I'm annoyed that she like talks to people at work because that's ruining my social reputation at work.
So, telling people about your personal business, you didn't appreciate that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. And the other one was, I guess, clean?
Just putting up with her messiness for so long. Yeah.
Okay, so working with her habits.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Do you have anything else you see or anything? So we have cleaning and then feeling disrespected from Cindy and the work argument. I guess that's from both. And then telling people at work about, you know, your personal lifestyles. And then as far as the habits, the cleaning habits.
When the prior agreement that you guys had made about cleaning and deposit and housewarming gifts, was that written up in the lease for the apartment? Where was that? Did you guys just make that agreement?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was several years or months prior to this argument that you had made that agreement.
It was just a couple weeks before I like actually moved out.
Okay.
Like as I was preparing to move out.
Yeah.
Maybe we should put down as an issue like the prior agreement.
Okay.
And I know that's wrapped up in all the other issues, but
That's cool.
that's a distinct. The prior agreement to like cleaning and housewarming gifts.
So, we have 5 things here. Which one do you feel like we should tackle first? Do you have any preference between both of y'all? Okay. Which one do you think we should tackle first? We have work argument, the habits,
I think we should talk about the work.
the work.
The work, because that's a small
Okay. The
piece
work,
of what came off of the cleaning.
the work situation.
Yeah.
Okay, is that fine with both of you? All right.
Okay. Now during this time, we just want to process the issue itself and kind of go into our problem-solving mode and figure out something that will be healthy and agreeable for both of you two. As far as the work situation goes, I'm not necessarily sure that Martin and I have a fully grasp concept of the situation.
Okay.
So perhaps we could backtrack and go into storytelling mode just for the work situation. Would anyone like to just start sharing about the work conflict?
I can start because I guess it starts with me. But we both work at the same restaurant, and I guess
It's Olive Garden, right? Correct.
yeah.
Okay.
And we see each other on a regular basis, and so I guess it's kind of builds up the tension. Or every time I saw her, I just kept getting madder and madder, and so I was talking to one of my coworkers, and I mean, I guess I had talked about how I was still really upset about how she left me to clean the apartment, and I guess I guess I had needed to just let it out because I was just so frustrated with it, and I didn't really have any intention for it getting spread around or for Cindy to hear about it. And then I was working one day, and it was kind of like I felt like Cindy came and just like in front of me, kind of just disrupted the entire work setting in a sense, and just like it's kind of like embarrassing, you know, like bringing our conflict out and just to like start yelling at me, and like I didn't want that kind of public confrontation, and so I was just kind of embarrassed and upset that she would kind of bring it out in front of everybody and start yelling at me when she's the one that left me, you know.
So your intention, Cindy, wasn't to, I guess, put a negative light on Ellie, but instead you wanted to voice your opinions to someone. You wanted to let out your emotions and tell. That's what you were trying to tell.
Well, I was so frustrated with her, especially since I had to see her at work all the time. And I guess I just got so, I don't know, my feelings just got so pent up and so irritated that I just let it out to one of my coworkers.
Cindy, do you have something in response to that?
Yeah. What I heard from my coworkers was that she wasn't just talking about how frustrated she was, that she was actually saying a bunch of other, like, really bad stuff about me. Like, how mean I was and how pissed she was at me and how she just wanted me to leave and all this stuff. And then I started getting, like, mean looks from my coworkers at the restaurant, and, like, they're just acting distant and mean and stuff like that. So I got pissed, and so I went to talk to her about it. And I got kind of heated.
So you felt misrepresented
Mm-hmm.
in those gossips.
I felt like it was an unfair attack. And I feel like they didn't even understand the story, so they should just stay out of it.
Had you guys sat down prior to this and talked? Or this was coming from not really talking to each other for a little while?
We didn't really talk
Yeah.
about it.
Well, if you can go back and handle that situation differently, and you had a chance to talk to Ellie, what would you say about your frustration? What would you want to let out that you let out to that friend that day at work?
Well, I guess I would have just tried to convey to her that I wish that she would have, even if she hadn't wanted to clean the apartment, or if she thought that it was all my responsibility, that she would have been more upfront with me and more just, so I didn't feel like she just left and it was left to me. Like we had talked about it, or she would even have told me about how much like my certain habits bugged her and how she thought that expectation was there that I would clean everything, because my thought was that it was our shared space, and so she was living there too, right? And so it shouldn't just be for me to clean up, even though, I mean, I can clean up my mess, but at the same time, like she's an inhabitant of that apartment, so I felt like she had some responsibility, and I feel like if I could go back, I would have maybe talked to her about those, like, just lay down more clear expectations as far as that kind of thing, and I just tried to make her understand how hurt I felt that she was leaving.
So having better communication, I guess, and being more responsible of, I guess, your messes or your, I guess, space in the area. Okay. And what about you, Ellen? If you could have handled it differently, instead of building up to that argument at work, how would you have handled that?
I mean, I probably would have just talked about it a couple different times. Like maybe a long time ago I should have talked about the fact that I was annoyed with her messiness. And so like we could have come up with a better solution to like cleaning the apartment and like splitting the gifts. But then maybe like I should have just been more calm like before I approached her, instead of just getting pissed off and yelling at her at work.
I feel like this situation isn't even a situation anymore. I mean, after you guys said that, how do you feel?
I think that you both kind of wish that you could have responded very, very similarly if you replayed the situation, this particular one. I wonder if there's something we can agree upon for like future, if this in your work context. Maybe we could just make a little agreement to kind of alleviate the situation happening again. And I'd like to hear your ideas, like what would you guys think would help if you do have an argument that's not being spoken to each other about, in order for it not to spill over into the workplace. Do you guys have any possible solutions that you can think of?
I feel like she owes me an apology, first of all, for talking bad about me to our coworkers, because they got pissed at me and they've been mean to me since then. And so, like, if we want the situation to be fixed, I feel like she needs to go tell them that those things aren't true about me. And she needs to apologize to me first.
Is that reasonable, and what would you also like to see?
I would also like an apology. I would like an apology for, not just an apology, but I'd like her just to understand how I felt, just, I don't know, how, like my bitterness and how maybe my actions towards her came out of what she did to me, and I was just really upset by that. And I don't know, I feel like I would be entitled to all of the deposit money because I cleaned the apartment. And maybe I could give her some of the housewarming gifts or whatever, but I feel since I cleaned the whole apartment, that I'm entitled to more of the deposit money than she is. Mm-hmm. But that said, I would also, above all those things, I would like an apology as well for.
I feel like if she wants an apology for that, though, then she has to realize that it was annoying for me to live together so long and have to put up with messiness.
Well, right now we're not going to try to solve the gifts and the deposit in and of itself. We're just simply talking about an agreement for the workplace. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And both of you have stated apologies. Do you both feel as if an apology would be an appropriate solution to the workplace argument?
Yeah, but I feel like she has to understand first why it hurt me.
Mm-hmm. And the same with me.
So increased communication leading towards an apology. And maybe this is something where we schedule another mediation session just to simply sit down and talk between the two of you guys. And that's a reason for mediation. Go ahead, Martin.
I feel like we have time now to just
Oh,
elaborate
yeah.
more. Yeah, elaborate more on. You feel like you said you want her to understand why she's apologizing. So maybe now can you, just ask her now, or maybe talk to her, and we'll just, hear and listen to what Cindy has to say.
Okay. I feel like I really don't like it when people at work don't like me. Like I'm really insecure about that. And so to hear that other people perceive me badly because you said that it just makes me really stressed out. And so I feel like so often once you ruin somebody's reputation, and their reputation is just trashed, and you can't easily build that back up. And so it doesn't bother me that it happened once, but it bothers me that it could be an ongoing thing. You know what I mean? So it really stresses me out. It really bothers me. And I don't know if you've ever felt like that, but that's how I feel. And so I just don't see a way of that becoming fixed unless you understand how I feel and you're willing to fix it.
So, Cindy, do you understand where she's coming from? Understand? And vice versa, do you understand, Ellie, where Cindy's coming from as far as where she wants her apology and why she wants her apology? Or you can explain now if you want to.
Well, I know I've said a lot of it, but I guess I was a little bitter that you were leaving me in the first place. I mean, I thought we were really good friends, and I thought that we were having a really good time living together, and I didn't want you to leave, and so I didn't know, I don't know, and all of a sudden you just decided that you're going to move out, and you didn't give any explanation, and you didn't tell me if I was doing anything wrong. You just decided, you're just going to leave, and I didn't understand, and then you left, and then I just felt like the weight of all the responsibility for closing on the apartment, everything just fell on me, and so not only was were you leaving without any explanation, but I felt like you just didn't care about our friendship or what I was feeling anymore because you just left, and you just left, and then you just came and yelled at me I don't know, I didn't mean anything anymore. So I don't know. It's
Christine talked about earlier about the apology. So now that you both see, eye to eye, do you think an apology would be needed? I don't think, should we do the apology here, or do we let them do it later?
Do you, it's totally up to you two. What would you feel best about?
I think the most helpful thing would be to apologize here and to state why we're actually sorry, and not just I'm sorry, but first of all, I'm sorry that I didn't tell you why I wanted to leave Spelling in the first place, because I didn't know it would hurt your feelings, and I didn't know that our friendship was that meaningful to you. And I think I was just so frustrated and so just pissed off that I just wanted to get out and get what I felt entitled to because of the things that bothered me, the messiness that I had to put up for so long, and I feel bad about starting that, just the fact that the argument escalated, then I started the fight at work, because that jeopardized not only my job but yours as well. And so I feel really crappy about that, and I feel like I should have talked about the messiness before I even decided to move out, and then we wouldn't have had that problem, and then we could have kept the friendship intact, and yeah.
Good.
And I guess I'm sorry for not communicating with you before I went and talked about you with other people, and that I didn't tell you how I was feeling. And then I'm really sorry that I shared stuff about you with other people, and that made you feel really bad and really embarrassed at work. And I'm sorry that we got into that fight at the end, that it compromised both our jobs, and I'm sorry for I guess having habits that frustrated you for so long without realizing it.
feel like we got one situation out of the way.
I also feel like that. Do you guys feel good about this?
I feel good.
Good.
So
I also think this has increased communication in order to effectively transition into the bigger issues at hand.
yes. So we have the work situation out of the way. I can sort of say we have the telling people at work issue too, right?
Mhm.
So that's 2 birds with 1 stone. I like that. Now we can, jump into the habits and the cleaning and feeling disrespected. And I remember Cindy said she felt disrespected as far as the cleaning and the organization, and then the habits as far as you were talking about Cindy's habits. So we can talk about that.
And I think that's going to segue into the larger issue of the housewarming gifts and the deposit money. Let's just start talking about the cleaning.
Okay. Cindy started first last time, so can we start with you? Okay. Good.
I mean, yeah, I kind of left her to do the cleaning, but that's because, like, she is the messier of the 2 of us. And there's clothes all over the place, and, like I asked her to do the dishes, like, all the time. Like, I do my own dishes, and she doesn't do her dishes. And so, like, they're just sitting there in the sink all the time. And, like, sometimes we get fruit flies, and sometimes, like, ants, and it's just a huge mess. And, like, sometimes the apartment just smells bad because she leaves food around, and it's just a problem.
So what I'm hearing is, good laughter from both. So what
Laughter
I'm
is healing.
Yes, it is one of the top 10 medicines. I've heard. So what I'm hearing is you just want to be organized. You like your apartment to be clean,
Yeah.
tidy.
Yeah, it smells bad, and there's just
Okay.
yeah, it's just a mess. And she doesn't listen to me when I tell her that it stinks. It smells like Doritos all the time.
Doritos, nacho Doritos, like the chili.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nasty.
It's okay.
Okay, so the smell would also be enough.
Yes, the smell.
Yeah. And so if she's so messy, she needs to.
It's barely
Perhaps let's
funny.
take 5 seconds
Yes,
to
5 seconds
recompose
to think about
ourselves.
it. Think about this.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, yeah, but she's a mess.
She's a mess.
And she also doesn't really mow the yard.
Okay.
Is it an apartment or a house?
It's an apartment house.
So it's the little yard. She doesn't mow the little.
She doesn't mow the stupid grass.
Okay, the little.
Like, we alternate weeks, and she won't do
Oh, okay.
her
Gotcha,
weeks.
gotcha.
And
So
so
who
I
cares
have,
about that? Really?
I do, and so
Oh
I
my
have to,
gosh.
and so I have to mow for 2 weeks.
In a
Like,
row.
Do you know how slowly grass grows? Come on.
It grows fast enough that you need to be doing your mowing.
Oh.
So annoying. Okay. I have three big issues for you as far as that. Do you have anything else you want to add, or?
It's a mess, and it stays messy. And I try to have my boyfriend over,
Mhm.
but she's just messy anyway, so he doesn't even want to come over anymore because she's such a mess.
Okay.
And that's not fair to me.
Got you. Okay, Cindy. Are you finished? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
All right,
I think so.
Cindy. All right, your turn, Cindy.
Well, I guess, like I said, as far as cleaning, I had felt that even though maybe I was the messier of the 2 of us, I mean, the thing is, she didn't know maybe that I was okay with cleaning up my half of the mess whenever we moved out. But I don't know, how I viewed it was that, we shared the apartment, and so to a certain extent, she has a certain responsibility to clean up, like, something, or just, in order even to get a share of the deposit, even, or even if, like, I don't know, it was just, and I guess what hurt me the most was that she assumed that I would just clean it all, when maybe she didn't even, ask me if I'd be willing to clean more because I'm messier. Like, maybe I would have agreed to that. Like, she didn't ask me, or even tell me that my cleaning habits were annoying her, and that's why she was just thinking that I should clean more. Like, she just, assumed that I would and just left it. And I think that's the worst. And then assumed that she would get an equal amount of the deposit.
So what I'm hearing
And then
is,
she wanted the homewarming gifts, even though I cleaned it, and we had made that decision before.
So what I'm hearing is, if you had better communication, you would have had a chance to, I guess, clean up when she wanted you to clean up. As far as your viewpoint on cleaning, it was different. As far as you don't mind cleaning up, but you just wasn't in a rush to. Okay. So you do like to clean, but it's just not on her time schedule.
May I? No, you go.
I was saying it's not my fault that I'm not super organized all the time. You know, like it gets to the point where I feel like I can't be messy or be myself at all because she just had everything like, I don't know, super neat, and I just felt like she kind of judged me for my lifestyle. And I don't know, I feel like she condemned me so much for being super messy, but I was in a sense super messy compared to her very like OCD, like Lysoling everything and like not letting me wear my shoes in the house and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, it was just, I don't know, maybe we're too different.
Did you know about her relationship with her boyfriend, and as far as him not feeling comfortable in your apartment?
No, like she never said anything to me
Okay.
about it at all.
So now it's the first time hearing about it. Okay. Anything you want to add?
I just wanted to clarify quickly. The cleaning of the apartment has already happened. You guys are both moved out.
Mhm.
Okay. So we are just strictly trying to figure out over housewarming gifts and deposit, or has the deposit money already been split? It has.
It's been
Yeah.
split, but she doesn't think it's fair.
Okay.
So she wants some of it back.
And as far as the housewarming gifts, they're with you guys right now. We're just trying to figure out.
Well, I
Who
have
gets
them because
Okay.
our agreement was whoever cleaned the apartment got the housewarming gifts.
Okay.
So I have the housewarming gifts.
But I want the TV.
Okay.
And she thinks she wants
But see,
more.
I cleaned the apartment, so the TV should be mine technically.
I like where you're getting at. So this issue is over with. The
The cleaning, well, like,
yeah,
yeah, I feel like.
we don't have to talk about this really.
Right, I mean, I think that if we're talking about the cleaning in and of itself, it's in order for you, both of you, to become better aware of, like,
Yeah.
the backstory to each of your, to this argument. And I think maybe the same as the work context, we can talk about the cleaning in order to work towards an apology or some form of, like, apologetic agreement. The housewarming gifts would be more of a, we need to, like, constructively figure out things. But yeah, I think
concur. I
yeah,
concur exactly. So this helps, but
yeah, it does. It totally
the
does.
bigger issue is the prior agreement.
Yeah,
Okay, I see. You guys understand what we're?
Mm-hmm.
I think let's talk through the feelings that
Yeah.
that are underlying the cleaning or like lack of cleaning. Let's talk about those feelings and try to reach understanding among that. And then that's a great segue into the prior agreement.
Okay. So what we have so far is the biggest thing was the cleaning and feeling that since you cleaned up, you feel like the housewarming gifts belong to you and you want the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And have you spent the money? Y'all split the money in half, right?
Yeah,
Well, they were received from friends or we purchased them jointly.
Okay.
the gifts, yeah.
Yeah.
But the deposit money,
Yeah, the deposit money.
Yeah.
You still have your deposit money?
yes.
You still have yours? Okay, so we're good with that. So the biggest thing is you feel like all you want is the TV. Do you have a lot of items, a lot of gifts, or
We didn't have too many things.
and you just do you feel like you want the TV? Like you really?
I mean, I feel like
There's also, though, there's like a lawnmower, there's a couch, there's a couple lamps. Like, it's enough stuff that, like,
Mhm.
I have nothing for
Yeah.
my, yeah. And so she gets to keep all of this stuff, and it's just,
Okay, Christine. I had an idea, but I lost an idea. Can you read in my mind right now?
I am trying so very hard.
Go behind the door that's locked. I don't have a key. I forgot it.
Oh man.
Never mind. I found the key. It's in my pocket.
Awesome.
Okay, good. So Cindy, we're gonna start off with you. Can you explain to us, or explain to Ellie, the way you feel about why you feel like she doesn't deserve any of the gifts, or maybe, just elaborate a little bit more on that.
Well, I guess my feelings would be kind of upset that she feels that she's entitled to them, especially after our agreement. So I feel like if she had wanted some of the gifts, she would have helped me clean the apartment,
Okay.
regardless of how messy I was. That was our agreement. And maybe if she had thought that I needed to clean more, she would have, stated that when we made the agreement or whatever. But I don't know. I guess the fact that she just didn't help kind of assumed that maybe she didn't want any, or because she knew what the agreement was, that I would get the housewarming gifts if I cleaned the apartment. So I'm not particularly attached to any of the housewarming gifts, as it were, and I would have been totally willing to give her share. But I guess I'm upset that she felt like she's entitled to them, even though she didn't help clean. But if she had helped clean, she knew that she had helped clean, she would have gotten some. But now that she didn't clean, she feels she's entitled.
So because of her non-contribution, as far as helping to clean, you just feel like it's only right for you to keep the gifts.
Yeah, and like I said before, I'm not particularly attached to them, maybe as she is, and I'm not specifically really trying to keep them all. I'm just upset that she assumes that she deserves them, and that is she wouldn't even ask me for any, that she just thinks that she's entitled to them.
Okay. Just to add another little thing, if you don't mind, Steve.
Go for it.
What do you think, would be right? What would you accept as far as a proposal from Ellie, or Ellie? I'm sorry, Cindy?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you accept from Ellie? I guess I know last time we had an apology. What do you want now as far as that? Because I know you felt like you had a lot of work to do, and you felt like you contributed a lot into cleaning, and she didn't really participate in your mind. So,
would there be an equal sort of
compromise?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Is this a situation in which we can compromise on?
Maybe.
Okay. At least it's not a no.
Yes, and then maybe we should hear from the other side too, and see if we can reach compromise through further conversation.
I feel like I'm not being that selfish. I mean, she's the messy one, and so she has to clean up her mess because I'm always organized. And so I feel like she got her share of the deposit money. That's fine, whatever. I have my share of the deposit money. But she got to keep the silverware, all 3 lamps, and the couch, and the TV. And those other items besides the TV are worth a lot more than the TV itself. But I don't have anything because she got to keep everything. So I feel like I deserve something, which is a TV, because that's an expensive TV, and I don't have money for a TV. So she might as well just give it to me. She owes me that for having been a mess for 2 years, and I never said anything. And she should have just understood that, because I was so neat, I would want the apartment to not be a huge mess all the time. And so I feel like she owes that to me. And I'll let her keep the rest of it. That's fine, whatever.
So do you feel like there's a compromise that could be possibly done? I know it's more of you're waiting for Cindy's answer back to the compromise, but do you feel like you'll be willing to work with Cindy in a compromise just to get the TV? Because the biggest thing is you want the TV.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is with you, Cindy, is you want her to realize that you put in a lot of work when it was time to move out as far as cleaning.
That, and maybe some percentage of her deposit money. I don't know. I feel like
You can't have that money.
I feel like it's not
You can't have my money.
It's not equal.
Yes, it is. I'm not with you.
But I cleaned the entire apartment.
I'm with you. I'm always clean.
Okay.
You can't just take my
What? Okay, watch me.
Okay.
What the heck?
So now you want some compensation for your
could
Letting him keep the couch and the lamps in the
Letting me, you,
Yeah,
we made
that
that
was
agreement.
coming
That is you.
We agreed on no interrupting with
Yes.
our ground rules, so we're gonna go back to
This
those
is my
ground rules.
deposit
She
money.
wants my TV,
Okay.
even though she
Listen,
knows.
we did not state a final solution yet, so
Yeah.
neither of these things actually happened. I'm wondering if perhaps we could find the compensation that's not the deposit money. Is there any other form of compensation that you would agree upon? Maybe it's as abstract as Ella coming over to your new apartment and having a cleaning day.
You can't make me do that.
Well, then you can't have my TV.
Okay, I know that there is no making of the other, like, the final product of mediation is not to force another person to do something. The final product is to reach an agreement between both parties. So, leaving this room, you guys both have to be in agreement upon what is being stated. Yeah. Did you have something to say, Martin?
I was gonna piggyback off your idea.
Go for it.
Instead of having a cleaning day, maybe you can have a yard sale. As far as a lot of those gifts, I didn't know those gifts mean a lot to you. Not talking about the TV, but things like the lawnmower. Did you need a lawnmower still, or did you? I know you like to mow, but it depends. And these are all, again, these are just ideas. So if you don't like them, these are.
You can't just sell it though. Like if she doesn't want it, then she should just give it to me.
But it's mine. I can do with it what I want.
So you're just gonna sell all the crap that I could have and that I could
Maybe.
use for my new apartment
Maybe.
just to piss me off. You would do that.
No.
Sell
wait.
it out of spite.
Well, out of spite. Okay, well, you should have come help clean the apartment if you'd wanted something. I feel like that was the time to negotiate.
Okay, I'm going to
For-
pause this again and interrupt because pointed statements aren't really getting us anywhere, and I'd like to bring us back to the mentality from where we both apologized to each other. Just a
But this
few
is
short,
realistic.
like,
You think
10
it's
minutes
realistic?
ago.
I think it's realistic though.
I think, however, I'd like us to go about this in a more
Yeah.
understanding manner. Okay, so I think we've reached a point where Martin and I would like to guide the discussion into the issue of the prior agreement and talking specifically about what you both expect to get out of this time with the housewarming gifts specifically. So, who wants to start?
I'll
There
start.
you go.
Well, as far as, I have the housewarming gifts at this point, but, and I would be willing to negotiate with her, but at the same time, I feel like before I can do that, I need her to almost change her attitude towards the housewarming gifts and her attitude towards how, her right to them in a sense, because I don't know, I'm still angry that she feels like she has a right to them even though, we made this prior agreement, and then she, I know she made a choice, and then now she's trying to go back on it, and so regardless of whether I'd be willing to make a negotiation, I'm still angry because I feel like she has that, I don't know, just her attitude's kind of bugging me, she's just not, I feel like she's not at the place where I want to, negotiate, I guess.
So, what would you like to happen next? You like understanding.
Yeah, or just if she could just kind of acknowledge my right to them, or just my right to them in the sense of our agreement. I don't know. I don't feel very acknowledged in that sense.
Cindy, what needs to happen with you in this circumstance? What would you like to see happen next?
I think that I'm okay recognizing that technically because of the agreement that we made, you're entitled to them. I think I just feel bad about myself for being greedy in thinking that I was entitled to them even though they weren't mine. But also, I just want an apology for like the fact that the argument about the cleaning just got so bad that I just got so frustrated that I was wanting to take this more than I deserved because of compensation.
So what would both of you be willing to try?
Well, now that she has said that, I'd be willing to say that I'm sorry if I wasn't more willing to work with her, share the housewarming gifts, and to just completely claim them. And I'd be willing to ask what she wants and try and figure out some sort of, I don't know, fair agreement or yeah, because I feel bad because I think I let my anger at her kind of control how I acted, and so I didn't really want the housewarming gifts that much, but I feel like I kept them, or I wanted to keep them to like almost like because I was mad at her. And so I don't know, now that she's kind of acknowledged, I don't know, like my feelings, I feel like I'm more willing to give her the gifts that she would like, because I don't really want them.
Are you okay with acknowledgement?
Yeah.
So it sounds like you guys are coming to a great compromise and, mode. As far as the money issue, do you still feel like you should, you still want some compensation, or?
I don't know. I mean, at this point, I figure it's true that, it was a lot of my mess, and that I guess cleaning wasn't the only thing, like getting the deposit back, like we both kind of put into that, and we both lived there, so I guess maybe, I don't know, I'm not as, I don't know, I don't want it as much.
I don't know. How do you feel about what she's saying?
I just feel bad.
Feel bad? I guess after you had a night to sleep over
Yeah.
situation.
I mean, we're getting some emotional responses here and some agreements. Let's go ahead and try to work out the physical agreements of it, like the items which are involved.
I just feel so bad about, like, getting so upset and being so mean that I just...
Well, how about you can help me, like, move in to my new apartment?
Yeah! That makes me feel
Okay.
a lot less bad.
Are we, then one of the agreements is that Cindy, you help Ella move into her new apartment, which would, I guess, include cleaning.
Yeah.
In return, is an item going to be exchanged from the housewarming gifts?
Which one would you like?
Well, the TV, but I still feel bad because I want you to know that I'm sorry for letting the situation escalate in the first place. So,
Well, I feel totally okay getting you the TV.
okay, and I'll help you move in.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
Great. So in the future, the next time,
Obviously, Christine and I realized that, we allowed this to last for a long time, but we realized that you guys can come to an agreement earlier. So we're going to still talk about some of those items that Christine wanted to talk about, like the lawnmower and the lamp. And
Let's make sure that everything gets resolved
yes, exactly.
while we're at the table.
So the TV is resolved, and then the lawn floor. Was there a lamp?
There were
was a lamp.
3 lamps, I believe.
3 lamps.
A couch, a TV, and a
Oh,
lawnmower.
a couch. Okay. And are you moving in with your boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
And he's poor. And he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have a lamp.
Well, there's 3 lamps.
Or a couch.
So everyone.
Or a lawnmower.
Or a lawnmower. Uh-oh.
Or the TV.
Well, I think we set up the TV, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are there any other items that need to be discussed? Do you guys feel
No, that's pretty much it.
you just want the TV and you're okay with everything else?
Yeah. Because I feel really bad about causing all this trouble in the first place. So I feel, yeah.
So far we have an apology for the work situation
Mm-hmm.
from both of you, and you would like her to apologize and tell those people at the work that, you know, it was false representation
Mm-hmm.
for you, and then you would like an apology for how she behaved and
Yeah,
made a
but-
big scene.
Yeah, so I think she's definitely sorry now, so, and she's already
Okay.
apologized for that, so
Okay,
that's okay.
so that's out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
We're clear about the personal life because they're moving.
Yeah,
You
I
guys have
think we will, as co-mediators, we will write up the agreements that we have come to and give you each a copy of them to end the mediation session. And I mean, you know, this isn't legally binding, but if you need to come back and discuss anything at any time, you can do that.
Martin again.
Hi, it's Christine.
As you can see, we had the whole mediation session and the process. Couple things went well. Couple things that we felt like we could have improved on. Obviously, I want to start off and say Christine did an excellent job.
You did an excellent job too, Martin.
Stop.
We're great co-mediators.
The biggest thing is that we wanted to talk about was the whole process and what had happened. So we're going to start off by talking about the issue and what were the issues and who the 2 people were involved in the issue. So Christine, you.
Yeah, we actually split the mediation into 2 different days, so this is why we're wearing different clothes this time. We went through the storytelling process in each of our disputants, Ella and Cindy, kind of let their emotions out and explained the feelings of the matter. And then we made a list of issues. Martin, would you like to go ahead and read the issues?
Yes. So the biggest thing between Cindy and Ella was they had an apartment and they were moving out. And the key was they both agreed on help cleaning the apartment up, which one of them did not come to their agreement or did not reach the agreement, and they bailed out on the other person. And the whole issue was cleaning, to clean out the apartment, the work argument, which was caused from the cleaning, not being able to clean out, telling people at work, which was pretty much the whole work argument, the prior agreement, which was the biggest issue that we wanted to talk about. And we felt throughout the whole process we were able to fix a lot of those problems and come to a compromise between both. The biggest thing we also want to talk about during these issues, it was really hard to reenact emotions that really weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
Christine will elaborate more on.
Yeah, we, obviously our mediation wasn't exactly, it wasn't 2 hours long, but we decided that was okay because we got through the structure of mediation, the storytelling, the transitions, the issues listing, and the problem solving. Our actors couldn't quite, you can't quite make feelings where there aren't any. So if this would have actually been a live mediation with the 2 disputants that actually were in the situation,
It'd be a little more intense.
yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
more intense, and it probably would have lasted 2 hours
Exactly.
because they would have had deep emotions wrapped up into it.
Yes.
but yeah.
Again, like Christine was telling, the storytelling was, I think, our longest part. The storytelling was. And the key about the storytelling was we allowed both parties to express their opinions on the certain topic and certain situation, which enabled us to really understand what the real issues were. And Christine did an excellent job with asking why they needed to, I guess, change their behaviors and what they could have done better, which also helped us, I guess, lead into that problem-solving stage as well.
Yeah, and one really good thing that Martin did is when we went through the issues listing, he asked the disputants like what they would like to talk about first. I mean, they really didn't have that big of a say in it, but then we went back and we got to choose what to start with, and through that we chose the work argument because that was a little bit less involved. And through talking about the work argument, we made progress on them agreeing to apologize, and that kind of segued into talking about actual physical items, which was definitely harder to resolve.
Exactly. And the one problem that we had as far as the items go, as you can see in day 2 of the whole mediation process, again, the emotions, wasn't really there to bring and elaborate on the issue, but we had 2 people that were able to solve their problem pretty much without us.
Oh yeah.
But as you can see, I think the biggest issue would have been the items, because the TV was very important, as well as the 3 lamps and the couch. But again, like I said, the emotions of, the intense emotions weren't there. But, again, we think that the key to the problem-solving mediation process was allowing both parties to elaborate and voice their opinions. So we were not pretty much solving their problems. We were just, enabling them to have a safe environment where they can talk about, what's on their mind pretty much. Christine also brought up the topic as far as the personal life we really did not need to talk about, and she'll explain more to you why she felt like we really didn't need to add that into the process.
We kind of got to a point in the mediation where they apologized and they acknowledged each other's feelings, and it kind of solved its own, solved the problem itself. We didn't really need to dive too far into their personal lives as mediators, and that was very interesting.
That was very interesting because that just eliminated one issue that we felt like didn't really need to be needed or needed to be talked about, because again, Christine helped solve that in the apology for the work situation, which all tied together pretty much. Everything ties together, and we noticed that when we were doing our mediation session. The one thing that I also wanted to talk about again was the situation at work, the work situation, and as far as, how it was just mishandled. After they both sat down and realized that, hey, they could have handled the situation a different way, we were able to come to an agreement, which was that apology, and we realized then and there that they were more able to work together and to come to a better compromise, because the prior agreement was a lot smoother than the whole work situation, and I noticed that.
Yeah, I'm really thankful we started with the work issue. I think that was a strong point in our mediation. All in all, I'm very happy with how this mediation went. I think it was one of the stronger ones.
I agree too. I agree. I concur with that. And again, just to add one more note to this, we also felt like the mediation situation, I guess, wasn't as in-depth. It could have been a little deeper. We could have made it a little deeper as far as the whole situation, because, we were able to solve both of these problems in, I guess, roughly around an hour.
Oh yeah, it was probably within an hour. Which, again, we learned a lot from this, and we will, continue to apply this to our everyday lives. Oh yeah. Thank you, Jane Ellen.
Mucho gusto. Gracias.